Grant County Redevelopment Commission meeting to order, and we'll have the prayer led by Victoria Herring with the pledge led by Mark Lemming. If you would stand.
Lord, we just thank you for this time that we can come together today and serve Grant County. We pray for your wisdom as we make decisions for the betterment of this county. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll move on to item number 2, approval of meeting minutes from 9/2 of 2025. Are there any corrections or errors that need to be addressed with the meeting minutes? If not, I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Mr. Street, a second from Mr. Lemming to approve the GCRC minutes from September the 2nd, 2025 at 12 p.m. Are there any other questions or comments from the members? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. We'll move on to item number 3, the draft of the EDA TIF timetables and maps. I'll turn it over to Mr. Bookout.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'd like to first start with the I-69 and State Road 26 Economic Development Area. Mr. Meeks is here from Barnes and Thornburg, who would help through this process. There was a map of this area included in your packet. That map is subject to your feedback today. So if you have, this is kind of what we talked about in the last meeting. I tried to sketch it out the best I could and incorporate everyone's thoughts, but still open to interpretation and your feedback on that. Before we get into that map though, and your comfort level with that, I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Meeks to describe the process of the timetable.
So good afternoon, Commissioners. Dustin Meeks, Barnes and Thornburg. I'm standing in for my colleague Chris Kreisel today, so I apologize. Much less fun and handsome than Chris, but we do what we can. What is before the Commission at your next meeting on November 3rd will be the approval of what we call a declaratory resolution. The declaratory resolution really does 2 things. It approves a map of an economic development area, which is an area that in the county that the Commission has identified as a target for potential future development. And in that economic development area, it identifies an allocation area, which is an area where property tax increment will be collected that can be used by the Commission to finance improvements in your economic development area or serving your economic development area. In addition, the declaratory resolution includes what we call an economic development plan, which is a document that walks through sort of the rationale as to why we have picked this area to be an economic development target, and it identifies the powers that the Redevelopment Commission will have to make improvements in and serving the area to facilitate development in that area. I believe this will be Grant County's first economic development area, so I'll walk through kind of the whole approvals process. It has 4 steps. So after the Commission has adopted the declaratory resolution, that triggers action by 2 additional bodies, the Area Plan Commission that has jurisdiction for planning in Grant County, and then the county commissioners. So first it goes to the Plan Commission, and the Plan Commission has a relatively simple ask. They're asked whether the economic development plan conforms to the general plan of development for the county. And if they give their approval that they find the economic development plan to be in conformance with the comprehensive plan, then it'll go to the Board of Commissioners. And the Board of Commissioners give their assent to the plan and the collection of the tax increment. Once you have those 2 approvals, there is a publication of a notice of public hearing that will be made at least 10 days before this body would meet to have a hearing on the declaratory resolution and adopt an action that we call a confirmatory resolution, which basically recites that after receiving the approvals of the other government bodies and holding the public hearing, the Commission would like to proceed with the declaratory resolution. Once that's done, the economic development area and allocation area exist and they need to be reported on to two bodies. One is the county auditor, and that way the auditor can ensure that the parcels that will generate increment are marked as sort of creating increment for the Redevelopment Commission's use. And then additionally to the Indiana Department of Local Government Finance, who keeps sort of universal records of these things for the state. And so it goes into their transparency portal so that taxpayers can go and see where what parcels are included in the allocation area specifically. Here, what is proposed is an economic development area that is coterminous with an allocation area. So all of the parcels in the EDA would also be inside of the allocation area. That isn't necessarily always the case. Sometimes you may have EDAs that are bigger than allocation areas. I like to call the EDA the big box, and we have big box and small box. And always the allocation area is smaller. It can be as big as the EDA, but not bigger, if that makes sense. One is sort of, one generates the revenue and one is where you can use it. So where you can use it is always bigger than what's generating, but here they're going to be the same size as each other. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. We're still in the process of finalizing the declaratory resolution, which I think is really focused a lot around the map and what parcels are going to be in there. But also happy to talk through the kind of things that go into the economic development plan and answer any questions that you might have.
So I guess my only question would be, let's say hypothetically, like area plan decides that this is going to be declared an area, then what would be the steps? I mean, does it die then?
If you didn't get the approval of the Plan Commission, correct. You would have to come back and adopt a different declaratory resolution. Though in my experience, the Plan Commission's ask is sort of so narrow, it's rare that's where you have an issue. Usually if somebody's going to object, it's the commissioners. This is usually, because there's a sort of a broader ranging evaluation of whether or not it's a good idea. The Plan Commission are just being asked, does this sort of wildly violate the plan? And here, in this particular case, we're talking about the intersection of two sort of major thoroughfares in the county as a site for potential future development. I doubt that the plan wouldn't allow that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Are there any other questions from the members?
The second piece of this is the map. So you all have a copy of the map, and if you have feedback or...
So this is the I-6926 map, where at the last meeting we gave direction on the outline, correct?
That is correct.
So that's a pretty good size area. Right, I mean, that's, if I'm reading this right, it's going from where the electrical power plant is out there, is that correct?
There is the gas plant.
The gas,
The
yeah,
gas
the
plant
gas.
to the highway.
And all the way back to Wheeling Pike, is that correct?
Yes.
And then partial way up Wheeling Pike?
Mm-hmm.
And then back across? That's basically taking up that whole
Yes.
triangle.
Just goes back to 700 east, doesn't it? It don't record Wheeling Pipe. Going north, it goes.
Well, to the north, it goes to Wheeling Pike.
Yeah, when I say to the east, it goes to 700.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, just 1 mile.
Right.
And we have a buy-in from those people that own the land.
I have talked to, as we'd mentioned before, people on the four corners of the interstate and the state highway. Three of the larger parcels, I had positive feedback. They're not ready to put the property up for sale, but they're open to conversations. The piece in the lower, the small defunct Stuckey's gas station that's in the southeast corner, they are a willing seller at that location. Again, they recognize that if there's a plan and there's more, there's development, there's buy-in from the county, that they're opportunistic, as everyone would be who is a landowner. They want to maximize their profit. I recognize they're not sellers at farm ground prices, and they recognize today without zoning, water, sewer, They're at farm ground prices today, just at a good logistical location.
So describe the process on, like say we wanted to increase the map or, at a future date, say today we approve to accept this design. Can you always,
Yeah, absolutely. So at any future point, so say we got through the entire process, we do the confirmatory resolution and the area is created. If at a future point, the Redevelopment Commission wanted to expand the area, you would go through the same process. So you would adopt a declaratory resolution that would identify the new larger area, get Plan Commission approval, Board of Commissioners approval, and then a public hearing and the final approval of this body. And that would be, so it's that same process.
This is the first step in planning, so, yeah. I'm happy to make any revisions to this plan. It's not set in stone. Today's the day we look at it and decide, is this what you want?
Well, I think that you got a plan is if we're gonna grow and live forever, in a sense, and then you're gonna reel it back as to reality.
Right.
As far as people go, as far as industry that people will accept.
Right.
That's kind of my thought process. It was,
And this is not a zoning body either, so, there is a zoning step that anyone who goes there would have to accomplish.
so when you think about all those stages that you guys are both mentioning, you're looking at what, 2-3 months sometimes on getting through all of the steps?
Yes, yeah.
Without special meetings, yeah, it can take that long.
are there any other questions from the members? Are we looking for a motion to accept?
I think it'd be appropriate to approve the timeline and approve this draft map for inclusion with the declaratory resolution that Mr. Meeks would prepare.
Because when we met last month, that's kind of where we were headed, so we could see the process, right, be part of the process.
Yes.
I would make that motion then to at least continue this and with the hopes that we can land something that everyone will benefit from or be happy with.
Yeah.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Mr. Lemming, a second from Ms. Harrington. How do you say your last name? Herring, right? To approve the timeline, proposed timeline for the establishment of an I-69 and State Road 26 economic development area, along with the attached draft. Are there any other questions from the members? Do we do roll call or?
You can do all in favor signify by saying aye.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you. So we're going to talk about the second timetable now. Commissioner Middlesworth and I, as well as Attorney Harker, had the opportunity to meet with the mayor, Marion, this morning, talk with him about this westward area. It's my understanding now, after talking with Mr. Harker, that possibly we should hold on this, get some more feedback from the mayor on his intentions. Mr. Harker, is there further you want to share on that, or okay? I think we need to make sure that everyone's comfortable with this and all the parties. And I know that Commissioner Middlesworth has gone to the ends of the earth to try to make sure that everyone's aware of what's going on. But I think more discussion needs to be had with the city before we push this one forward. I purposefully omitted a map from your packet that I sent because we had questions, the mayor had questions. I had all three commissioners had conversations with me about the area. And I think we need to make sure that those parties are all on board before we bring something to you. Just hold this one this time, keep it on the agenda. Happy to answer questions.
Questions or comments? We'll move on.
Okay.
We're moving on to item number 4.
Yes, so per your request at the last meeting, I drafted a notice of proposals that contains dates, timeline. This is a standard template, request for proposals that our firm has used over 30 times in the past to repurpose properties. I tried to hit some of the high points in here that you all had mentioned regarding that a respondent has to have a plan to address brownfield concerns, has to take into consideration different factors in the neighborhood, And has to, most importantly, agree to pay the taxes for a period of at least 5 years going forward or forfeit it back to this body. I included a map in there as well. There's a lot there, but I know this proposal inside and out, so I'm happy to answer questions. First page is actually the public notice that would go in the newspaper. Notice of request of proposals. With your approval today, this would be advertised immediately, twice in local publication, and then distributed to developers that the county thinks may have interest in the property, or anyone else that you all would like me to distribute it to. We'll make sure we get it out.
I missed some, I thought weren't we talking about the Dane property?
Yes, correct.
I thought, did we just say we were gonna, to do anything on that until we, with the mayor, or was that something else?
No, that was something else. That was the economic, that was the timetable for the economic development area
All right, I
west.
thought we were talking about there
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So before us, we have the notice for request for proposals, and this is regarding the Dana site. And that's one of those that, the commissioners had pulled the certificate from the tax sale.
Commissioner Middlesworth, since the certificate has been pulled, I've been working with Mr. Greisel to get us a description of how the property, once the tax sale certificate issued, how the commissioners can go about obtaining title and or navigating that process to get it from a tax sale certificate to something that is a deed that can be then used as part of the process to develop. And I know Mr. Greisel has started that process, and hopefully by the next meeting we should have something in writing spelling out how we get there. This is a significant opportunity for us to engage in redevelopment through land that is, in my opinion, the lowest hanging fruit the county can grab, which is things in the tax sale. So looking forward to learning about that, hopefully at our next meeting.
So we need a motion to approve the notice of the RFP.
That is correct. So just for me to read the timeline to you of how this would happen, incorporating what Attorney Harker just shared. We would issue this October 10th. Written questions would be due to the county by November 24th. Proposals due to this body by December 1st. That would take into account the month of November for Attorney Harker and Chris Kreisel to iron out the exact process that they want. And then closing and transfer after a selected contract award would be estimated at 4 to 6 months post-award. There has to be we have to perfect the deed on the property.
Are there any questions or comments from the members?
I want you to pay particular attention to the questions that are as part of this. We do make them describe all kinds of different circumstances. Who's doing the work? What is your experience? Will you be using local contractors? There's a place for them to provide a bid. I have received these back before, and for depending on the property, the bid could be significant or it could be $0. We want to be realistic about what people may do on the bid amount. They have to describe their timeline, what type of business that they propose, how many years have they been in business, do they plan to create or retain jobs, average hourly wages. Just do a lot of different items on here so you can see all those questions. And then once a respondent is approved by this body, they would be obligated to enter into an economic development agreement with the body that would contain all of their answers that would be in this document. What we're looking for is a responsible end user of the property.
Absolutely.
And this is no guarantee that we'll get that, but this is the first step to trying, yes.
And we hope we have choices.
Yes, it would be very nice to have choices, exactly. There are 2 parcels as well, just so you understand, there are 2 parcels that go with this. There is a larger parcel, and then there's a smaller piece also that is incorporated just to the south of the site. You see a small red square protruding to the south.
Parking lot right out this side.
Are there any other questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I make the motion to go ahead and move this forward as been presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion from Mr. Lemming, a second from Mr. Hicks to approve the notice for the RFP regarding the Dana site, and to move forward with the advertising of it. Are there any other questions from the members? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
One follow-up point, Commissioner. I'll make sure that the City of Marion, the Growth Council, people within the immediate area, anyone that wants a copy of this should get a copy of this. If you have recommendations on who you would like me to share it with, please let me know.
There'll probably be at some point like an email chain that things like this that maybe go like, maybe we can develop that email chain to do it for notification
Yeah.
for all those units you mentioned.
Yes, yeah. We've internally, we have the email address, but we could put it into a, something we could distribute out to a large group of people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The county's in control of this because they control the tax sale process and the tax certificate. So we have briefed the city, the mayor is aware of this, Joe Murphy is aware that we're working on this. So there is and will be city involvement with this.
We definitely work together with both those individuals, and Mr. Street and I was talking before the meeting, and I think that makes sense that we would all want to work together to forward ourselves.
Great. Thank you.
We'll move on to item number 5, 415, 417 South Branch Street property appraisals.
Yeah, I spoke with most of you earlier today to let you know that I'm going to ask for this one to be tabled because we have a seller that is, he's not yet committed to selling, and I'd like to have that commitment before we spend money on appraisals, so.
Do we need a motion to table? Can we just
You do, yeah.
I'll motion.
Second.
have a motion from Mr. Street, a second from Mr. Lemming to table the 415, 417 South Branch Street property appraisals? Are there any other questions from the members? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Do any of the members have anything else for the good of the order? Brad, do you have anything else you'd
I
like
do
to add?
not. I appreciate everyone here being responsive to when I place a phone call. I think almost all of you are picking up on like the first ring, so thank you for that. I want you also to feel free to call me in the event that you have questions or concerns. I want you to reach out to me as well.
Thanks for being here, Mr. Meeks.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Sweet. If there's no other questions or comments, I'd entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
A motion from Mr. Street, a second from Mr. Lemming to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor?
Quick on the gavel, Shane. Quick on the gavel.
Mr. Red in their eyes.
I'm so used to it.
I don't call it right here. I might not have.
It was a strange.
Thanks for being here.
You get so many spam calls anymore. It's you don't recognize the number. It's like, I can talk to them later.
I heard it's like, am I selling something from their ranch?
Exactly. Exactly. All right, good to see you guys.
You be good. I figured.
They didn't give me to keep up my truck.
Oh, my
I got
goodness.
such a long last name.
Take some time to,
I need to create my, an auto pen.
maybe just MW.
Get you like a needle board, wax sand. All right, we, Barnes and Thornburg every year makes a sort of